Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Happy Life, Better Life. Thank you so much for joining me today. Um, well, first, I want to ask you to like, comment, subscribe. I'd love to hear from you all. So, I have two trains of thoughts here, and I don't know if I should do two separate videos, but for now, I just want to mention this. I've really been watching what's been going on in LA with the demonstrations and things. And oddly enough, this past weekend, right before the demonstration started, I was already watching the documentary Eyes on the Prize about, African Americans, Black people fighting for civil rights and some of the things that were taking place. And it's always when we look back into the future, look back into the future. I just said the name of a movie. But what I meant to say, looking back into the past, back into the past, it can be enlightening, it can be disheartening, it can be painful, it can be a lot of things. And when I was watching some of the demonstrations that were taking place, and also a period of times when the military was called in and things like that, it was amazing to me how much it mirrored what was happening today. And with our brown brothers and sisters who are fighting for equality and fighting to be here. And I know people have their own different views on these things. However, I will say it's not a them thing, it's an us thing. It's an us thing. And we should all be concerned. And we should all be looking at what's taking place. We should all be watching how our president is handling these situations. We should all look at what's escalating, what's deflating, what's going on here. What are the distractions that are here? And why are these distractions happening? There's a lot to take in, and this is a time of unrest. So it touches all of us. We're not immune to it. We shouldn't be, because this is our country. And honestly, I feel a lot of ways about it, but mostly I guess what I wanted to say about it is that we need to definitely be praying, and we need to be watching, and we need to be alert, and we need to be diligent, and we need to be sober, and we need to be praying for the people who lead this country. And we need to be praying for wisdom, for understanding, for compassion, for all these things that make us human, for all these things that make us a country. And I tell you, sometimes when I look at it, we're fighting the wrong battles. We're fighting the wrong things, but that's my opinion. That's my opinion. So, moving on from that, I was looking at AI, because there are certain things that for us as people in our 40s and 50s, there's a lot of new things coming in, and looking at how to navigate this, because a lot of people fear AI, a lot of people embrace AI, and a lot of people are just confused about it altogether. And so in particular, I'm going to talk about ChatGPT. It's something that I recently became acquainted with. And when I say recently, within the past few months, since maybe the beginning of the year. And it definitely has its pros and cons. It can simplify certain things. It can help you do research. It can help you format. It can help you write emails. It can help you plan a party. It can do a bunch of different things. And actually, since its creation, it rapidly grew to like 1 million users. And then from there, it has as many as like 400 million users now. So this is incredible, but it's also something to be paying attention to, something that we shouldn't take lightly. And for those of us in our 40s and 50s, we could be feeling so many different things. We could be feeling like this is going to replace us. We could be feeling like it's going to confuse things. It's going to make things more challenging when it comes to the workforce, if we don't know how to utilize it. So there's a lot of different thoughts here. So when it comes to Chat GPT in general, it can be a useful tool. And even, I will ask questions sometimes, thoughtful, introspective, philosophical questions, just to kind of see what the answers are, just to gauge things, just to look at my thinking in comparison to what's taking place. So I did ask about pros and cons, when it comes to ChatGPT. And so this is the thing. Really, there are pros and cons, but most of the dangers really depend on us as human beings, as thinking individuals, and how we utilize technology, because technology in and of itself can be helpful, but too much of it can always be damaging. And some of the dangers when it comes to ChatGPT, like even now, there are teachers having problems trying to figure out if students wrote this paper or if they use ChatGPT. And if they use ChatGPT or other AI, it's like, how much do they really actually understand it, and how much are they actually learning? So that can become a problem. And when it comes to like over-reliance on AI and ChatGPT, things of that nature, it can reduce our critical thinking. It can reduce our ability to look at information and to decipher what's good, what's true, what's false, because we become reliant on ChatGPT or AI to tell us this. And an interesting thing that I found out is that over several months, there are certain words that have been sort of like disappearing from our vocabulary. And these are words that have to do with inclusion, with diversity, with when it comes to like being individualistic. These words are starting to disappear. And as a person who uses YouTube and stuff like that, they already kind of penalize people for saying certain things. So you hear people saying SA, that this person was SA'd, when something happened. It's like there is a censorship rather that's taking place that we need to be aware of, because it's happening subtly, but it is happening. It's happening slowly, but it is happening. So we need to be aware of that. So we have to protect our way of reasoning and our critical thinking and our ability to solve problems. We don't want to be reliant on AI to do these things for us. Also, the dulling of our imagination. We will not, if we use AI for everything, we will not come up with things that are based on our own experiences, based on our own intellect. And then things just get muddled. Things become desensitized. And so we have to be careful and we have to be aware of these things. Then are we learning? Are we just receiving a bunch of information? Are we just passing information on, distributing information, but not really looking at it and validating the information? Because listen, somebody controls all of this. So if we're not challenging the validity of information, if we're not doing our due diligence and doing our research, then are we learning information, or are we just becoming information mongers? Because that's not helpful. Psychologically, the more we use technology in general, the more we become emotionally detached, the more we become separated from each other. It's like when you look at a restaurant and there's people dining at the table together, but they're not having conversation. They're not conversing. Everybody's on their phone. They're looking at stuff. They're flipping through stuff. When you see people walking or even at a park or something, you know, they have headphones in. They've got cell phones in front of their faces. They're not really connecting to the world around them. And these are things that we definitely have to be careful of, you know? Some people question, is AI good or bad? Well, it has its benefits. It has its pros and it has its cons, but it's really what's in the eye of the beholder. It's how we utilize it. It's how we depend upon it. It's how we abuse it, you know, when we use it for things other than what it was truly intended for. If we are replaced by AI, then no, that would not be a good thing. And there is a fear. There is a fear of that. There's a fear. It's just like when you watch the movie with Will Smith. I can't remember the name of it. I Robot, maybe, something like that. And how, you know, he was the person fighting against the use of robots and artificial intelligence and things like that. Well, we're coming to a place in time where that may very well be our reality. So I'm not saying that the use of ChatGPT and AI is bad, but I'm saying anything that makes us lazier as humans, anything that makes us not want to think as much about what we're doing, not pay attention as much, not interact with each other as much, then that is a potential danger. But is it because of this AI, or is it because of us? Is it because of us as human beings and how we utilize things? And is it because our system is already set up to sort of cause us to become dependent upon things? So I'm just sharing today. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear your opinions. I would love to know what you think about this. So please do share, like, subscribe, and I will see you next time. And in the meantime, you know I want you to live a happy life and a better life. Bye-bye.